Spring has just arrived, and although there is still snow on the ground, it is never too early to plan ahead for summer. Indeed, many summer programs are already taking registrations for summer courses. For student violinists, violists, cellists, and double bass players here in Canada, one name is synonymous with excellence in string performance and pedagogy here on the prairie. For several years, the Rosamunde Summer String Academy has been educating and motivating student string players to practice and perform at their very best. This year, the Rosamunde Academy takes place between August the 16th and August 25th at Canadian Mennonite University, but the registration deadline is fast approaching. The deadline this year is this Friday, March 31st. Here to tell us more about Rosamunde, I am joined by Elation Pauls, who is the artistic director of Rosamunde, and her daughters, Clara and Juliana, who have been past participants in the Academy. Hi, Elation, Clara, and Juliana. It's nice to have you here in studio.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Great to be here.
Elation, I'm going to start the conversation out with you. The deadline is coming up fast. How have registrations been so far? And can you talk about some of the places that you're receiving applications from?
Yeah, applications are going really well. I would say we're at maybe 1/3 or a quarter so far of the student body that we'll end up seeing. People do tend to register at the last minute. But yeah, we're getting in a good number of students. Some are coming from Alberta. In past years, we've had students from abroad that are interested because of the teachers or, because of family connections to the area. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see who all ends up being there.
And there's actually several parts to the Rosamunde Academy. There's the pre-professional portion, the core portion, the mini Rosies, and Rosamundiad. Can you talk about the 4 different parts and what kinds of things are taught and what level of string players the programs are geared towards?
Yes, that's a really special thing about Rosamunde is that if you play a string instrument, you can be there. There's a spot for you. So the youngest players are the mini Rosies, hence the cute name. So that's for, 5, 6, 7, up to, I would say, 10 or 12. That's also kind of dependent on your level. So if you're a beginner violinist and you're 10 or 12 and you want to come for 5 days, then the mini Rosie program will accommodate you. So that's a Monday to Friday program. And for the little ones, if a full day seems like it might be a bit too much to handle in sort of a music-based environment, then half a day is good. And then the core program is for, students who are already kind of at a grade 6 level, aged 10 to 18. And that's the full 10 days. Sunday, there's a lighter day. So it's basically 9 days of instruction. It's kind of nice to have a break. And then the pre-professional program is also just 6 days. It gives students a little bit more time to get ready for university because it ends on the 21st instead of going all the way to the 25th. And then the Rosamundiads, that program is for adults. So if anybody's listening and they have a violin or cello hiding in their closet, they can take it out and, join this group of adults. That's in the evenings, and that's chamber music based. So that's group playing. All of the other programs include private lessons and technique classes. There's performance opportunities in a solo setting with a collaborative pianist working with you during the week. And then there's also chamber music and orchestra. So you really get a full gamut of activities, which is a really unique thing to this program. Many summer programs really focus on either chamber music or orchestra, but Rosamunde really allows you to focus on your individual playing as well as the group setting, which is really fun.
And it's meant for any level of string players, I gather, right?
Yeah, it's we really do, and even within those categories, each person gets their own individualized schedule. So I can really make it work for that person where they're at in their level in their journey, in their musical journey.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I was noticing is that the faculty pool is pretty deep. I mean, it must create a nice student-to-teacher ratio. Can you talk about some of the faculty you're going to be teaching and perhaps talk about the 2 distinguished faculty who are going to be joining you this summer?
Definitely, yeah. You're right. The student to faculty ratio is amazing. Like each student gets a lot of individual time. And yeah, we have symphony players. So Gwen and Carl, Chris Anstey, Yuri Hooker, myself, we're all there. And then there's also professors from different universities. Brandon University, we have Carrie Duors and Leanne Zacharias, as well as Mina Rose Chung. And then there's the guests who are really, really always, they rotate every year. So we have a different person every year. And this summer, it's Axel Strauss, who's a fantastic violin teacher from McGill. He previously taught at San Francisco Conservatory, and he's originally from Germany and has won a bunch of competitions, is just, always performing all over the world. And I've seen him in action as a teacher, and I think he really has a lot to offer. And on cello, we have Blair Lofgren, who's principal cellist of the Quebec Symphony, and he's also a really wonderful pedagogue and just works so well with the students and is a beautiful chamber musician. So the 2 of them are actually performing in the Rosamunde Festival concerts, which will be August 22nd and 23rd. So I'm looking forward to playing and performing with them as well.
Sounds fantastic. Clara, I'm going to turn it over to you. You are Elation's daughter, but you also took part in Rosamunde. Can you talk about what part of Rosamunde you took part in?
So I took part in the Mini Rosie, half day and full day. They were very fun to do, but I kind of like the core because the older people there have like more experience, and you kind of get a little bit of advice from them too.
Right. Yeah, so it's sort of learning from your colleagues, which sometimes is equally as important as just learning from a straight-up teacher. I mean, even for myself, I know that you get better by playing with other people, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what was the best thing about taking part in the academy for you?
So I really like the teachers there, the faculty. I really like how you can get a bunch of different advice from other people. There's a really wide variety, and I also like during lunch, like you can like look around a little bit. And there's also a cafe on campus that has really yummy gelato.
Always the pluses is great.
Yeah.
Juliana, you're a cellist. How long have you been playing cello, and how many years have you taken part in Rosamunde?
I've been playing since I was 5, so 9 years. And at least 7 years I've been taking part of Rosamunde. I don't know exactly, but at least 7.
And have you always had the same teacher? Can you talk about who you've studied with at the academy?
Well, I've taken lessons with Leanne Zacharias, and I really like her because I can see her once a year at Rosamunde, and every year she says that I've improved. And it's always good because I don't always see the improvement, but she always does. And then there's guest artists like Matt Heimovitz who come, and they have a lot to share as well. Like in a master class, my friend was playing Forays at Play and Rêve, and he talked about how he loved this piece and how he talked about this artist. I forget his name, but he had this studio and he had objects and like always the same objects, but they were like all the shadows were different but daily, and like the artist kept on seeing new things about the objects. And the piece can be like that too. Like every musician has a different take on this piece or any piece, and every musician in themselves can play this piece differently day by day, and it's always fascinating, and it never grows old
Mhm.
for some people.
Every performance is different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've brought along your cello, and I understand you're going to play something for us. Can you set it up for us? What are we going to hear?
We're gonna play. I'm gonna play the Bach's cello Suite Number 3 in C major, and it's the prelude.
All right. Juliana, that was fantastic. Thanks so much for that. The intonation is amazing. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Elation, I understand that there's an upcoming fundraiser for the Academy. Can you tell us about the fundraiser?
Yes, I'd love to. So this is going to be a super fun evening. It's called the Peg City Soiree, and it will be at the Moss House in Osborne, a gorgeous mansion. And there will be hors d'oeuvres and drinks and dessert, as well as live entertainment. So some Bach will be played. Yeah, Clara and Juliana are playing, as well as Shiloh and Kai and Jonah Hebert with Ava Smith in a quartet. They'll be playing a couple movements of Shostakovich's 8th String Quartet. And Carl Stovey is going to be playing some Paganini, which you won't want to miss. And for some light and fun fare, we're having the Peg City Fiddlers play. Shiloh and Jonah and Kai are amazing fiddlers, and they will be bringing some of their friends for that group. So it'll be, just a really wonderful evening.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. And where do you have the address of the house? Or?
Yeah, it's 218 Roslyn Road. So it's right in Osborne Village there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for our Classic 107 listeners, I've provided a direct link for the fundraiser where you can find out more details about that. As I was said earlier, Elation, the level of teaching and the student enrichment at Rosamunde is so vast. Where can people go if they want to register for the Academy?
Directly to the website, rosamunde.ca. There's a button that says apply. So for most of the programs, the application deadline is Friday the 31st. For the mini Rosies, that deadline is May 16th. So parents have a little bit more time to get that one up there. But it's coming up quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So get the applications in. Yeah, absolutely. For our Classic 107 listeners, I've written an article about Rosamunde. The deadline for registration is this Friday, as you heard Elation say. In the article, I've provided a direct link to the registration page, and you can find that by going to classic107.com. Elation, Clara, and Juliana, thanks for coming in today. And
Our pleasure. Thanks so much for having us.